when deciding whether or not I'm going to run man coverage, I am doing one thing and one thing only, and that is evaluating the level of the opponent that I am playing. I play Road to College Football Playoff, so I'm always playing against human opponents. So this may or may not apply if you're playing Dynasty, because I feel like the computer is always going to make perfect reads, especially if you're playing on Heisman. But when you're playing a human opponent, they make mistakes, okay? And they don't always make those perfect reads. So what you're wanting to do, what I am doing when I decide to run man coverage or not. And by the way, I think I'm one of the best cover two man players in the world. I run cover two man. I get 4, 5 interceptions a game sometimes. Like, it's crazy. And if you want to learn how to do that, how to get those interceptions, I have a link in the description called the Elite Defender School. Check out that video because I teach. It's like a 50-minute long video where I basically teach you the nuances of cover two and how to get interceptions and how is it I'm able to get 4, 5, 6 interceptions sometimes when I'm playing games. But check that out. But this is a good precursor to that. So I'm going to show you guys how you can identify a bad passer. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to run man coverage against a good passer, because a good passer is going to pick you apart. They're going to dissect you. Me, for example, I feel like I'm bragging a lot about myself in this video, but I am pretty good at this game, I guess. So I feel like I'm a really good passer of the football. I push the ball downfield. I'm reading the defense. I'm hot routing routes onto the field that I know is going to beat the coverage that you're in. And so I'm a good passer. And if I see you're in man, I'm licking my chops because I know exactly what I need to do to beat man coverage for large chunks of yards down the field. Okay, so what you don't want to do is run man coverage against a good passer of the football. You want to run man coverage against bad passers. Okay, bad passers. It has nothing to do with the routes that they're playing, their play style. It has nothing to do with that. How good are they? Okay. That's what you're trying to decide. And I'm going to show you guys, these are clips of bad passers that I've ran into and how I know they're bad at passing the ball. And it's going to show how I exploit them using man coverage to get like 1,000,000 interceptions. Okay. So, and then the other thing is, the other time you want to run man coverage, you want to run man coverage against bad passers or you just simply have the better horses, meaning you have the better team. If you're a tier 1 team and they're tier 5, run man coverage because your guys are better than they are and you're going to beat them most of the time. But assuming you're playing opponents on a similar level than you, say you're a tier 1 and they're a tier 1, then, and they're good at passing, stay away from man. All right. Okay, so let's finally jump in. So one of the signs that someone is a bad passer of the football. All right, let's see here. So he hikes the ball. Oh, I gotta tell what this is. This is a screen pass. One of the signs that you're a bad passer of the football is that you throw screen passes. If your opponent throws screen passes, that means they cannot pass the ball and you should get into man coverage. Because screen passes are an easy completion. Like, no one that can push the ball down the field is calling screen passes. You run screen passes because you have to. You're looking for a cheap and easy way to get yards. You don't know how to push the ball down the field, so you are over relying on screen passes. So the minute I'm playing someone and they call a screen pass, I'm like, okay, this person isn't that good at the game. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say they're not that good at the game. They can't pass the ball down the field. You're throwing cheap screen passes because you have to hope to get lucky and get good blocks and break something down the field. So that's one of the biggest signs someone is a bad passer is that they throw screen passes. If they throw screen passes, get into man coverage. All right, little technical difficulties there. I'm not sure what that was, but all right. So what's happening here? All right. Assign someone as a bad passer. So they pass the ball to, or actually, so there's two things happen here that shows me that he's a bad passer of the football. And remember, the minute you're diagnosing someone as a bad passer, that's when you switch to man coverage. But how I know that he's bad is an over-reliance on whip routes. So just like screen passes, people that over-rely on whip routes, which this tight end right here, he's in a whip route, they are looking for, again, they're looking for cheap and easy routes because they don't know how to push the ball downfield. Anyone that's dinking and dunking, anything that's like passes beyond the line, behind the line of scrimmage, RPOs, screen passes, whip routes, they can't pass the ball. The reason why they're playing like that, they're not dinking and dunking because they want to. They're not playing like Mac Jones because they want to. They're playing like that because they can't pass and they don't know how, so they have to take cheap and easy. And so against this opponent, I've already identified that he can't pass the ball. So I'm already in man and I'm shading down as well because you're dinking and dunking. I'm not worried about you pushing the ball downfield. So I'll just run man coverage. I'll pass commit and then I'll shade underneath. And when you do that, you get picks like this. It helps if you know how to click on and get those perfect timing user picks, which I go over in the video in the description. But yeah, that's another sign that they are a bad passer. They're constantly, they put whip routes on the field and they're just throwing the whip routes whether or not the route is covered or not. And that leads me into the next point here. Dang, that should have been an interception. So this is another sign you're a bad passer. They pass the ball to someone that is not open. What that means is that they had decided pre-snap where they're going with the football. And I'm all over that route. It's actually double teamed. I just got a bad animation. Look where he decided. He's already in his throwing motion. This receiver is bracketed. He is completely covered, and he threw the ball anyway. This is a bad passer of the football. This is another sign that they are bad at passing the ball. So again, you know when you're playing against someone that is good at passing the ball because the players that they're hitting are wide open. Like when I hit, let's say I throw a C route, for example, on a cover 3, which is one of my favorite beaters against cover 3. That receiver is wide open. If they're passing the ball and the receiver is wide open, that is a good passer. That means that they are reading your defense and they know what they need a hot route onto the field to beat it. They know what they're doing. But when they're throwing stuff like this, and I'm not saying you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter to identify this. You can identify this within their first 3 to 5 passes, how good or not they are passing the ball. If they're throwing to people that are covered like this, that's not a good ball. That is a lucky ball. Look at that. I did what I had to do to get this interception. I just was maybe slightly out of position. That's not a good ball. That's a bad pass. He just got lucky on it. It's stuff like that where you're like, okay, this person can't pass. Literally the first time that happens, I'm like, okay, they can't pass. Let me get into man coverage. They throw stuff like this. Look at that. Why? Why throw that? It's not close to being open. This is what I'm referring to. Like they're throwing to people that aren't open. They have no idea what they're doing. If your opponent throws stuff like this, they're a bad passer. Of course, I get the interception there. Another interception. Okay, so I'm telling you guys, I think this was like a 4 or 5 interception game. If you want to learn how, please check out the video in the description. But again, they're throwing to someone that is not open. And I'm kind of laughing at this person GTC Shiesty season. But believe it or not, this is on college, road to college football playoffs, and this is Heisman level opponents. So these are considered like the top 1% of opponents. You would be shocked at how many of them can't pass. And I know most people probably aren't playing on Heisman, so you're probably encountering more terrible passers than I am. This is not open. So if you're playing online and they throw some stuff like this and it's absolutely covered, that's a bad passer. That's when you should be like, okay, I should be running man defense. And, one of the things you can do just to test them out, just get into man coverage off rip. Just see how they handle it. Are they hot routing routes onto the field to beat your man coverage or not? Or are they just hiking the ball and throwing it, which is what a lot of people do. If they do that, that's another sign they're a bad passer. They're just going to hike the ball and just throw it. Again, it's double covered. It's hard to say someone is terrible when they're like on Heisman. It's hard to say someone's terrible, but this guy could not pass for the life of him. So those are all examples of bad passing. Okay. They throw into double coverage. They're not hot routing anything to beat your man. Like say you put man on the field just to see how they deal with it. Sometimes that's what you need to do on defense. You just put something on the field just to see how they react to it, and they don't put anything on the field to deal with it. That's another sign they're a bad passer. They're dinking and dunking. Everything is 10 yards or less. They're passing it to the running back out the backfield. They're doing screen passes. They're doing zig routes. They're just dinking and dunking down the field. They're a bad passer because if you could hit like 50, 30, 40, 50, 60-yard bombs, you would, but you can't. So you're dinking and dunking. That's a sign you're a bad passer. All right. So if anyone is giving you those signs, they're a bad passer, and that's when you run man coverage. That's when you're going to find your man coverage to be way more effective and way more sticky compared to running man coverage against someone that actually can pass, and then they're hot routing routes that beat your man, and then you're thinking, oh, man coverage sucks in this game. No, it's not that it sucks. It's just they know how to beat you, and you're running man coverage against the wrong type of opponent. Okay, so let's jump into the practice facility, and what I want to show you now is cover 1 and cover 2 man, and what you can do to make those coverages extra sticky so that you can even dial up your man coverage even more. All right, now let's talk about the different types of man coverage and those nuances. So we're going to start with cover 1 hole. Most people run cover 1 hole incorrectly, and I will show you why. Let me just select the right play. All right, whatever. I'm just going to select something. So this is what the play art looks like for cover 1 hole. Obviously, you got the wide receivers. They're all manned up. You got the 3-rec hook and then the deep zone safety over the top. Where most people are messing up when they run cover 1 hole, which is a great play. It's great coverage. What they're messing up though is that they are using the 3-rec hook. I bet that's who you are using, and that is not who you want to user. If you're going to user anyone, I user the safety. If you want to user the safety, you should, or you can user one of the D linemen. But the reason why you want to avoid using the 3-rec hook is because, and not a lot of people know this, is that cover 1 hole has match logic built into it. What that means is that the play art is lying to us. Okay? The play art shows us that Salopek is manning up the running back. But that's not necessarily the case. The way that cover 1 hole works is that these 2 linebackers, or safeties or whoever you have right here, they communicate with each other post snap who should pick up the running back based on the route that the running back runs. So if the running back ran a swing route to the right, well then Wise is in the best position and he will track that route to the right. But if the running back ran up and out to the left, well then Wise would be out of position. And then he would be chasing him across the field, and then then you can just hit the running back in the flat 10 out of 10 times. He's going to be open, because that is just not an optimal way. You don't want him running, chasing someone across the field. He's not in position. But if you're not using either of these two, what'll happen is the play recognition, Salopek will then pick up the running back and then run with him, because he will be in a much better position to follow that route. So that these two will communicate with each other based on the route that the running back is running. And when you user the 3-rec hook, or you user, this one or whoever, the 3-rec hook, you're breaking that logic. Now the game is, it's like the fact that this guy is picking up number 14, that's just the case. I don't know what other word to call it. That's just what it's going to be. So then if number 14, the running back, ran a swing route to the right, then Salopek is then chasing him all the way across the field, and he's never going to get there in time. So that's why a lot of people's cover one hole sucks, because they are breaking the batch logic built in here. What you want to do is user the safety or the defensive line to let these two cook. Like let the AI programming built in handle its business. Now I moved them a bit, so I don't know if it's going to do it right this time, but let's let them hike it and see. No, it didn't do it. That's not the greatest route to showcase that. Let me select a different route. Okay, I had to switch sides to show you guys how this works. So I only have one controller, so bear with me here, but I'm going to put the running back on an in route. And you're going to see the linebacker in the middle of the field. He will take the running back if I put him on that in. You see that? He was in position to take the in route. That's how the play art showed us. However, if I put the running back on an out route, you're going to see him get picked up by somebody else. You see that? That's the match logic that I'm talking about that's built into cover one. And it's the match logic that you guys are breaking by using the hook defender. And that's why the running back is usually always open when you run cover one, because you're doing it wrong. You can see before, when he ran to the left, number 56 here was in better position. But post snap, 56 just zoned off, took the middle of the field, and he allowed the player that was in better position to take the running back, and the running back is not open. It's locked down all of a sudden. But let's say that you were using him, or you were using the wrong defender, then that match logic gets broken and you're not able to take advantage of it. So that's cover one hole. And the other thing about cover one hole that makes it interesting is that sometimes it'll take it a step further and it'll get the cornerback involved or the nickel involved in who's matching on to the running back. So that's why you want to avoid playing any of those defenders. And that's why you want to just stick to playing either safety or defensive line, and just let the programming do its thing. Right? You see how that time number 21, hold on. Number 21 here picked him up. He was in best position. That's the nickel. He gets involved in it too. It's not only the linebackers, like they are smart defenders, and they will match on based on who's in the best position. And so if I do, let's say, what happens if I put him on I'm just going to put him on a swing left. Let's watch who tracks him. See that? Now he tracks him to the right. Now it's the right person then tracks him when I put him on that swing left. Let's see what happens if I put him on a Texas. See, when I put them on that Texas, we had a third person get involved, right? So in the two examples that I've showed, we saw the nickel pick him up when we swung him to the right. We saw the linebacker pick him up when we swung him to the left. But when we put him on the Texas, number 90 here picked him up because he was in the best position. Then we got a little help here. We got a little help here from the linebacker, but he had good zone discipline, stayed in his zone, and then he was locked down. He kind of broke open there toward the end, but you see how that's working? So that's a third person that gets involved. This is the match logic that I'm telling you guys that's built into cover one that you are not aware is there, and you're breaking it by using the hook defender. Don't use the hook defender. Just use the safety. Stay out of the hook, stay out of their business. Let them match on and do their thing underneath. And I promise you that is going to increase your cover one defense by a gazillion. All right, let's flip sides. So that's cover one hole, cover one robber. Let's talk about that. I don't like cover one robber, but I'll just show you guys what it is in case you ever want to run it. But cover one robber, it looks like cover two. The reason why it's called a robber is because you are robbing routes underneath. So you are going to post snap, he drops down here. It's a little misdirection, and then he just like robs routes. Whereas with cover one, you would have something that looks like this, like maybe like a couple underneath defenders and then just someone up here like that. Cover one robber, it looks like cover two, and then you have this person here that drops down and then tries to rob underneath routes like this, like that. So that's cover one robber. You see how I did that? How you stay in position, the ball snapped. Okay, now I'm going to come down. I'm just going to help on something. And wow. And you come down and then you just attach to whoever is breaking open. That's cover one robber. I don't know why that's getting completed. That's pissing me off. I wonder if I could switch stick that. I'm going to try to switch stick it real quick. All right, well, I switch sticked on, but still got it. Anyway, that's cover one robber. I don't love cover one robber. I don't know. I just haven't had good luck with it, but maybe it's because I suck. So yeah. Anyway, let's go to cover two man. Cover two man is self-explanatory. I don't really know if I got to get into cover two man. So really quickly, you see on screen cover one contain. Instead of the hook zone, you just have someone in QB contain. It's super easy. Cover one hole press. It's cover one, but it's press coverage. Like it's pretty easy to understand once you get like the basics. I think the best one is cover one hole. If you don't use the 3-rec, allow that match coverage to take over, and then cover two man. I go into cover two man super deep in my link in the description to my interception school video. It is like a 50-minute video of me teaching you guys how to get interceptions. I get 99% of my interceptions out of cover two man. It's my favorite. It's my favorite defense in the game, honestly. It's locked down, and if you play it the way that I play it, you're going to get a ton of interceptions. It wouldn't really be fair to me to go over cover two man right now, just simply because people have paid for the interception school course, and where I go into like a super deep dive in a cover two man, and it just wouldn't be right for me to then explain it here on YouTube for those people that took advantage of that. So if you want to learn how to play cover two man and get the most out of it, check out that video in the description, interception school. But cover two man is my favorite defense. When I need a turnover, I play cover two man. When I've identified that my opponent sucks at throwing the ball, I play cover two man. End of like 2-minute drill, and I'm on defense. Let's say like end of half, not 2-minute drill. Let's say like 60-second, 40-second, whatever the case. And I know they're going to be passing the ball to get downfield. I run cover two man. If it's the end of the game and it's like 2-minute drill and they need to get down the field, I'm running cover two man. I run cover two man 70 to 80% of the time. Like I think I'm probably one of the best cover two man players in the world, honestly. Um, I love it. Anyway, check out that video if you're interested in learning cover two man. Um, but that's that. I think that's enough for this video. So the key to running man coverage is situational. I think you're deciding when to play cover, or excuse me, let me backtrack. When you are deciding on whether or not you should play man coverage, you need to consider how their quarterback is playing, or how your opponent is playing. Is he a good passer of the football? If yes, then you probably shouldn't run man unless you have the better horses. Meaning, is your DB simply better than his receivers? Do you have a cover, or excuse me, do you have a tier 1 team and he's like tier 3, tier 4, tier 5? Okay, then man coverage is probably going to work very well for you. But if it's tier 1 on tier 1 and he can pass the ball, he's probably just going to pick apart your man defense. Like for example, me, if I see man and the level of passer that I am, I'm going to cook you because I know all the man beating routes. Okay, so I'm going to cook you no matter what you can do. The only thing you can wish for someone who can pass the ball well, like myself, is that we just make a mistake. Or you disguise your coverage and you trick us, like you come out in a cover 3 look, but you're really in cover 2 or something like that. That's how you defeat a good passer. But if they're a good passer and you do not have better horses, stay out of man. All right. If they are a bad passer, I don't care if they're playing as Alabama or Texas or Georgia or Oregon. If they are a bad passer, and we went over that in the beginning of this video, run man coverage. Run cover 1 like I showed you in this video. If you want to be even better lockdown, run cover 2 like I show you in the video in the description. And you will lock them down. You will get like the 4 and 5 and 6 interception games that I get if you do that. All right. So it's all based on how the opponent is playing. How good is the quarterback? How good is their quarterback? That's the question you ask yourself before deciding to run man defense or not. Okay, that's enough for this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.